an extra large tub, still not made to the same quality of some of our clean or some of the American goods.
The laundry industry is in murky waters. At Schumacher's Appliances, prices for washers and dryers haven't changed yet, but they expect tariffs will soon begin to have an impact.
Eventually people will have to buy anyhow, but I think it's going to slow down sales at the moment, when they sticker shock. People are going to say, oh my God, this machine was $700 before, now it's $1,000, $900.
The tariffs have already forced many retailers in the US to raise prices. According to the US Labour Department, prices for washers and dryers rose around 20% in the 3 months up to June. But some retailers say it's not just tariffs on washing machines that are to blame. The 15% tariff on imported steel and 30% duty on aluminium, both raw materials used to make washing machines, may also hurt manufacturers.
The imported steel, the imported aluminum that is setting the price, and if a tariff means that price goes up, then the domestic price is going to go up.
In January, the Trump administration imposed a 20% tariff on the first 1.2 million finished washing machines that enter the US this year. And for any machines coming in after that, the tariff is 50%. The tax rate will then decrease over the next 2 years. The decision was praised at the time by the US manufacturer Whirlpool. But the company now tells TRT World that the net impact of tariffs has become a headwind for them. Whirlpool said in a statement, "One area of concern for us is the unintended consequence of the tariffs. Not only the domestic US steel prices, which are now 50% higher than the rest of the world, making competitive domestic appliance production challenging, but also the retaliation effects, such as the recent Canadian tariffs on US appliance imports." Faced with rising rents and labour costs, some laundromats in New York believe tariffs could be another major drain on profits. And they're joining a chorus of US businesses who say the tariffs introduced to protect them are now putting them through the ringer. William Denselow, TRT World, New York.
Well, for more on this, our editor-at-large, Craig Copetas, joins us now from Paris. Craig, good to have you as always. We heard there from some businesses who say Trump's so-called protective measures are now backfiring or will soon backfire. I'm wondering, do you think the Trump administration factored in this type of collateral damage when they implemented the tariffs many months ago?
I don't think they factored it in. I think they expected it. I don't think they expected the velocity of the collateral damage to be this fast. That story on Whirlpool, clearly they're getting ream steamed and dry cleaned. But it goes much deeper than that. There are various skirmishes going on. The big thing is the food fight going on right now between China and the United States over, of all things, cherries. The Chinese love American cherries from the Great Northwest. And this summer, the cherry growers in the Northwest of the United States have lost $86 million so far because the Chinese aren't buying their cherries. Now, the Trump administration figured that the Chinese would continue buying the cherries. And the reason they did that, they believed that, was because the Chinese initially increased the tariff on cherries from 10% to 25%. And the Chinese who love cherries say, hey, I'll pay an extra 15%. Then in July, the Chinese raised the tariff to 50%. So no one's buying cherries. And unlike white goods like washing machines, you cannot front load agriculture. You can store soybeans or wheat, for example, but not perishables like apples and pears, the other big foodstuffs that go there. So right now you're seeing a lot of citrus farmers in the United States and other agricultural producers being taken for cleaning as well.
Yes, and sticking with the agricultural sector, earlier this week the Trump administration released the first details of its $12 billion rescue package for that sector, I guess to offset the retaliatory tariffs imposed by countries like China.
Right.
I'm wondering, what's the thinking here? Is this a sensible remedy? Because it doesn't sound sustainable, does it?
Well, it's not sustainable on a lot of levels, but you know, as Ross Perot once said, the devil is in the details. And this $12 billion subsidy is a wonderful illustration. Look, more than 33% of what's grown in America is exported. Agriculture is a $150 billion a year industry. And unlike other industries, it produces a surplus. Now, what the United States has said, Trump has said, we're going to give you $12 billion. Now, that sounds good, doesn't it, Oscar? We're going to give you $12 billion. The farmers are not getting $12 billion. It's not cash in hand. That money is funneled into various programs. The money isn't going into a farmer's wallet to pay his grocery bill or his child's college education or his medical costs. It's money that just goes to other federal programs that at some point hopefully will trickle down to farmers. So the farmers aren't getting any cash in hand.
No. Okay, Craig Copetas in Paris, thank you as always.